There he is, Mr. Baby Step himself, Mr. I'm doing better than I deserve, the legend, Dave Ramsey. The question everybody have is, do the baby steps work? Should I go through the process? How hard is the process? Well, I'm very rare compared to a lot of people on social media that speak on Dave Ramsey. I've actually went through baby step 1 all the way to baby step 7, and I survived it. So the insight that I'm giving you is based on real factual, somebody going through the process, what it was like. Just a quick tidbit about me. This Kirby, the name of this channel is The Process. And what we try to do is try to get people from point A to point Z. And we talk about steps B through Y along the way to get to the final financial goal. I am an Army vet, former profession before I, went on the journey of personal finance and better in my life. I was a professional money spender. If it was a dollar, I knew how to find a way to mess it up in a bad way. I'm talking to you from somebody that understands both sides of the aisle, somebody of having a lot of money and somebody who having no money. But a little bit about me, I managed to pile up $250,000 worth of debt with no job for over 18 months. And I proceeded to go through a process to get out of that debt and build a portfolio that gave us the ability to retire my wife at the age of 38 years old. We live a life that's fairly comfortable compared to most. The journey of this channel is to get people through the process, get people through the steps. Hopefully, by listening to my stories, my journey, it will give you insight and give you inspiration and motivation to do things on your own. But to the reason why you're on this channel. Like I said, I am a disciple of the Dave Ramsey Baby Step program. I was fortunately or unfortunately went through the whole process. I'll let you decide at the end which one was it fortunately or unfortunately for. With that, let's get into the process. First, let's get into a couple things. Dave Ramsey baby steps go similar to this. Baby step 1 is save $1,000 for emergency fund. The list is right here over my shoulder for the people that's following along. Step 2 is paying off all your debts and to the IS to get a snowball effect going. Step 3 is to fully fund your emergency fund 3 to 6 months. Step 4 is to invest 15% of your income into retirement funds so you can prepare for the golden years of your life. Step 5 is to save money for your kids' college tuition so they won't have to go into student loan debt, begging for forbearance and everything from Uncle Joe or what have you. Step 6 is to pay off your mortgage early. Instead of waiting 15 years, try to get that done in 7 to 8 years. And step 7 is to build wealth and give. Before we go any further, I'm only going to talk about baby steps 1 through 6 because I have a little conflict with baby step 7. Do I give? I give abundantly. But my thoughts of it is I give my time, i.e. doing these videos that I'm doing for you, for the people that's able to fix their own financial situation. I give money to people that are physically unable to maintain or fulfill their financial obligation and need. Just giving you just a quick anecdote on this. I'm willing to give money to people that are in situations that they physically cannot get out of. I.e., I had a dear friend passed away about a year ago. They had 3 elementary age kids. The kids was left with her mother who is in the upper ages of life. So her mother physically is unable financially to take care of these kids. So I'm willing to help in those situations all day, every day. But for able-bodied people who can get out of their own way and to push along and strive along and change their habits and do the things that they need to do, I would prefer to give them the most valuable asset that I have, and that is time. So that is why I choose to do this YouTube channel, is to give the people that's able time so they can see there is a other side than the dark side that some live in, and then they don't see a way out of it. I'm trying to be that filter. I'm trying to be that hurdle, that ladder to get you off the dark side and come over to the bright side of things. So for me, how did I get introduced to Dave Ramsey? Just make it a quick story. Like I said, I was heavily in debt. I was thinking of dark things to do in life because I gave up on life pretty much. I was just driving down the road one day, heard a guy on the radio talking about debt-free Fridays and I'm doing better than I deserve and follow baby steps. And then I decided to buy his book, read the book twice, and I said, I'm going to go all in on what he's saying. The reason why I say I'm going all in, because I didn't went all in on all the get-rich-quick schemes. I mean, from Mary Kay to open up credit card companies with a credit card and didn't have a dollar, and I'm swiping credit cards to be my own client, to money transfers left and right just so I can avoid not having to pay the next bill. So, like I said, I used to be a professional and messing up money in my previous life. If you did all the things that I've done, then you probably need my number because we're a kindred spirit in another life. But that's how I got to Dave Ramsey. I read the book twice and I just said, I'm gonna go all in. And then I'm not gonna lie, I was super skeptical. I said, oh, this ain't gonna work, but I'm gonna do it because I was at the end of the rope. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. Like, Dave Ramsey say on his show. That's the point I was at. When I say y'all, I was giving up on life. I was literally giving up on life at this point. And this was like my last ditch effort to say, hey, if this don't work, then whatever. But I didn't know all the hoopla around Dave Ramsey. I didn't know anything about him. I just said, hey, I'm just going to try one last thing, and then I'm just going to go for it. That's how I got introduced to Dave Ramsey. And yet here we are. So you see, the world didn't get that dark. So everything turned out pretty much okay. But let's get into, should you follow the same steps that I followed and see if Dave Ramsey even actually helped me, or that would just give me more insight to do other things and better things. For all the people that think baby step 1 to baby step 7 is a hard, long, drawn out process, it could be, depending on your dedication to it, how hard you want to charge into it, how fast you want to charge into it, how much you want to give up the previous life and the things that you've done to change to the things that Dave Ramsey's talking about. One of the conversations that I had with myself before I started the Dave Ramsey thing was I looked myself in the mirror, and no lie, I wish I could do a reenactment for you. This is exactly what I said to myself. Everything that you've learned or everything that people told you up to this point, only two things that could have happened. Either you didn't follow it to the letter or the information was bad. But if you look back, the people that gave you that information, they're doing no better than you. So why are you listening to people that is doing no better than you are? So everything that you know from birth to this point puts you in this situation right now. You have to make the choice. Are you going to still what you've been doing? Or are you going to try to find and do something different to change the situation that you're in? That was my first step of just being sick and tired of being sick and tired. For people that want to know if they should go on a Dave way or not go on a Dave way, the question, are you sick and tired of being where you're at? If you're sick and tired of being where you're at, then that's the next step. But if you want to, play on the fence, okay, I'm going to do my old way stuff and then I'll do a little bit Dave way and then go back to my old way stuff. Remember, the reason why you're looking at this video right now is the same reason why I was going to buy that book. It's because all the decisions I made from birth till today put me in a situation where I'm wondering where my next dollar is coming from. So that's the first thing that you have to think of as a person before you go, am I willing to do this or am I not? As far as Dave's plan go, it's very simple. The reason why I say it's very simple is because in words it's very simple. It's very step by step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't have to think. You just got to keep doing the steps. You don't have to think outside the box. You don't have to go do anything extraordinary. Just keep following the steps. Get the emergency fund. Once you have the emergency fund, start doing the debt snowball. When you're done with the debt snowball, fully fund emergency fund. When you're done fully funding the emergency fund, now you can put extra funds, 15% towards retirement. So it's just like steps, going and going and going. For me, being in the military, now I don't give the military credit for a lot, but I do give military a credit for instilling discipline. Being able to just keep going through the grind. You might not even get a attaboy, thank you or whatever, but you just keep going. And that was the attitude and the mindset I had when I was going through the Dave Ramsey baby steps. I said, I'm just going to keep doing it. When I got to step 3, that's when I start seeing light at the end of the tunnel. That's when I start really seeing that I have more money in my bank account than I've ever had in my life. That's when I was like, oh, when I start seeing that snowball and the debt start piling off, and I can see once this is all done, then I'll have this much a month sitting to the side. So that's where it really hit me around baby step 3. I was tackling out a lot of debt once I got really focused. But that's really the mindset you got to have. Just keep going through the process. But all in all, let's go fast forward. I'll get there to baby step 6. At the time of baby step 6, I actually didn't have a house yet. Then I moved here to Florida. I literally paid cash for a house. So when it comes to does Dave Ramsey baby steps work? First off, yes. Dave Ramsey baby steps work well if you have the discipline to keep going through and no distractions. No, hey, got to help a brother, sister, cousin, mom, uncle, whatever. No, it's laser focus until you just go through the journey. The next question I usually get is, man, how long did it take you? Well, the length of time that it took me was about 4 years. But again, I'm laser focused. I'm fully funded emergency fund. I'm doing the 15% towards retirement. I'm maxing out the Roth IRAs for me and my wife. I'm maxing out everything that I can on the retirement side. And then extra money, I'm putting it towards regular investments, buying mutual funds in that landscape. And I just kept doing it over and over and over again. By the time I got to step 4, 60, 70% of my income was going towards retirement. So I still stayed on that same beans and rice budget when I was at step 1. I just kept going because my thought process of it is if I put 15% of my income in retirement, I can retire, nice, healthy when I'm 65. But hey, if I go 60, 70, 80% of my income going into retirement, that number can drastically slow down. And then, of course, I kept investing. Then I found a house, paid for it cash from some of the investments that was in non-retirement accounts. And that's how I got to baby step 6. And my mindset on baby step 7, we already talked about it earlier. It's now you've been through the journey, and now people look at you as the new ATM. I had to start, putting limits and boundaries around myself on saying where I will help and where I will not help. So now, after hearing my story and going through the journey, is Dave Ramsey right for you? Again, let's hit it with a couple tidbits. If you are already at the sick and tired of being sick and tired, then Dave Ramsey's for you. If you're at the point of saying, hey, all the stuff that I learned and I need to rethink money and I need to refocus on what I need to do so I can have a better life for me and my family. If you're ready to cut off that old learning, that old mindset, Dave Ramsey's for you. If you're ready to actually, hey, now I have a surplus of money where I don't have to go blow it. I want to set my kids up and I want to set my family up for the future, then Dave Ramsey's for you. But if you're not willing to do those things, like I said, if you go through the process and you're on the fence, if you half in, half out, the truth is it's going to take you longer. It's going to be more miserable. Then you're going to put yourself in a worse situation. Then you're going to be like, oh, this Dave Ramsey plan don't work. So if you're not fully committed, then it don't work. But if you're fully committed, then it will work. Now, the speed that you get through it is 100% dependent on your dedication. If you want to just do the minimum of what the baby steps say, then it's going to take you a little longer. But if you want to go supercharge, you debt snowballing, you throwing everything you can, you cutting off other expenses just to throw at the debt, you'll get done faster. Once you pay off all that debt and you start pulling that money into the emergency fund to get your 3 to 6 months, you will get there faster. Then when you want doing the 529 plans and you want to plow money in there, then you will get there faster. And then, of course, you don't have to be like me and pay a house fully cash, but put a good down payment on a home, 15-year mortgage, that's Dave Ramsey's plan. You start attacking that to pay it off early. That's it. Then you're there. You're home free. Now just think, once the house is paid off, 80% of your paychecks will be free and clear. To be in step 7, you can do whatever you want to do with them. Of course, hopefully you still invest it, but you are fully clear to do whatever you want to do, whatever your heart desires. Just don't go back into debt to put yourself back on one of these baby step ladders. That's what I see. People that get through baby step 3 and they be like, oh, I got to get a new car. My tire blew out, so I got to get a new car. That's one thing you want to avoid. But with all that said, now I ask you, is the Dave Ramsey plan good for you? But now you have more insight for somebody that's went through baby step 1 to baby step 7 to give you a true insight of what it's really like. See you next time on The Process.